Hello dear students, how are you? I hope you all are safe and sound, and also I hope you are enjoying the e-lessons presented to you. In the last video, we have discussed the chapter 100 Dresses Part 1. It was shown into two videos, and I hope you all remember the chapter 100 Dresses Part 1. Today, I am here to take up chapter number 6 from your book, First Flight of Grade 10. As in the last videos, we have studied about the 100 Dresses Part 1, so it's time to move ahead and to take the chapter the 100 Dresses Part 2. This chapter is again written by the famous American author Eleanor Estes, also known as the children's author. In Part 1, we learned that a Polish girl who migrated from Poland to America called Wanda Petronsky faced various challenges in America and also in her school, especially by the two classmates called Peggy and Maddie. We learned that this girl, who was always an object of fun for her classmate, made 100 beautiful drawings, and she won the drawing competition that surprised everyone. In the last chapter, we read that on the day of result, Wanda was not seen in the class. Now, what happens next? It's time to learn by reading the Part 2, that where has Wanda gone and what is the reaction of her classmates. So, without much ado, let's begin to understand the 100 Dresses Part 2. In continuation of the previous lesson, the 100 Dresses Part 2 reveals why Wanda Petronsky had not been coming to school. The Petronsky family decided to move to a big city where no one would care about their unfamiliar name. Let's understand. Everyone was looking at the amazing drawings Wanda had drawn and admiring it when the monitor of the class brought a piece of note for Miss Mason. Miss Mason reads the note multiple times as she couldn't believe what was written in it. Finally, she decided to read it loud. It was a letter from Wanda Petronsky's dad. She silenced the whole class and read out that letter loud to everyone. The letter began with a salutation to Miss Mason. Wanda's father conveyed his intention of not sending both his children, Wanda and Jake, to school anymore. He mentioned that they were shifting to another city, a big one, where no one would care enough about their strange names, a big city with a lot of people having weird names. As Wanda's classmates thought her name was weird and funny. After hearing what was there in that letter, everyone was speechless. Miss Mason too was stunned. She conveyed her disappointment to the class and asked them to ensure her that nothing was done purposefully to hurt Wanda. She said whatever happened was sad and unfortunate. She advised the student to introspect about it too. Let's read these lines from the text. Miss Mason stood there a moment, and the silence in the room grew tense and expectant. The teacher adjusted her glasses slowly and deliberately. Her manner indicated that what was coming. This letter from Wanda's father was a matter of great importance. Everybody listened closely as Miss Mason read the brief note. Dear teacher, my Wanda will not come to your school anymore. Jake also. Now we move away to big city. No more holler, Polak, no more ask why funny name. Plenty of funny names in the big city. Yours truly, Jane Petronsky. Let's understand further. The content of the letter disturbed Maddie a lot. She could not concentrate on her lessons and even started feeling sick. In heart, she never enjoyed Peggy asking Wanda about how many dresses she had in her closet. But she could never gather the courage to stop Peggy, as Peggy was quite an influential girl. Filled with guilt and regret, Maddie wished for a chance to apologize to Wanda. Hoping Peggy would be thinking about Wanda too, she takes a look at Peg, but she was busy studying. Maddie decided to take some action. She hoped Wanda hadn't yet moved away and she could tell her how sorry she was and appreciate her 100 dresses. That day, after the school had ended, both Peggy and Maddie decided to check if Wanda has moved or not. Maddie was satisfied at the thought that they both had same plans of apologizing to Wanda. Both of them hurried to Boggins Heights, the place where Wanda lived, in order to find her. During this season, the place was generally wet and the atmosphere was sad and hopeless. Peggy tries to comfort herself by murmuring that at least she didn't call her a foreigner because she was an immigrant. Neither she make her feel different for having an unfamiliar name. She was always in this delusion that Wanda had no idea that those girls were making fun of her. But now both the friends wanted a chance to confess, make amends, and appreciate her and try to stop her from moving away. Let's read these lines of the text, which show the feelings of Peggy about her behavior towards Wanda. "Well, at last," said Peggy gruffly, "I never did call a foreigner or make a fun of her name. I never thought she had the sense to know we are making fun of her anyway. I thought she was too dumb. And gee, look how she can draw." Mary could say nothing. All she hoped was that they would find Wanda. She wanted to tell her that they were sorry they had picked on her and how wonderful the whole school thought she was, and please not to move away and everybody would be nice. So dear friends, on the basis of the reading so far, let's try to answer some of the true-false and also try to state the reason for the false statement. Let's try. The first one is, Jane Petronsky wrote a letter to Miss Masson in order to convey that Wanda and Jake would no more attend the school. Yes, whether it is true or false, try. It's a true statement. Next, Mr. Petronsky decided to move to a bigger city with his family as he got a better job opportunity. Is it true or false? Try and answer. Yes, it's a false statement. He decided to move to a bigger city so that nobody would make fun of the names of his kids. Next, after reading the letter, Miss Masson could sense that the students deliberately made fun of Wanda's name. Is that true or false? Yes, tell me. It's a false statement. She thought that nothing was done intentionally or deliberately. Next, both Peggy and Maddie wanted to apologize to Wanda for their behavior. True or false? It's a true statement. Next, Peggy thought that Wanda was too dumb to sense that they were making fun of her. True or false? Yes, it's a true statement. So, Let's move ahead and see what happens further. On reaching Boggins Height, they saw a white little house where Wanda used to live. The house and its surroundings were shabby but clean, just like Wanda's worn-out blue dress. No one could be seen around the house. They knocked both at the front and the backyard doors, but to their disappointment, there was no answer. It seemed that the Petronsky family had gone away. So, Maddie and Peggy's last chance to make amendments was also gone. That night, Maddie could not sleep. She thought about Wanda and her faded blue dress and the little house she had lived in. And she thought of the glowing pictures of those 100 dresses made by her. After a long time, she reached an important conclusion, that she was never going to stand by and say nothing again. If she ever heard anybody picking on someone because they were funny looking or because they had strange names, she would speak up. She had no way of making things right with Wanda, but from now on, she would never make anybody else that unhappy again. So dear friends, we noticed that by now, Maddie had the biggest self-realization of the fact that she was favoring the wrong. But now she was quite clear that in future she would never support anything wrong, even if it meant losing Peggy's friendship. Let's read the lines from the text to see how disturbed Maddie was. Finally, she sat in her bed and started thinking deeply, the hardest she had ever done. She pressed her forehead tight in her hands, which indicated that she was really trying to concentrate. After thinking so much and so deeply, she came to a conclusion that she will always stand against the wrongs and will never say nothing when she has to. Let's proceed further. On Saturday, both of them sat together and decided to write a letter to Wanda telling her about the contest and asking her where she is living now and how that place is. No matter how much they wanted to apologize, they couldn't summon the courage to do so and thus ended up writing a friendly letter as if Wanda was their good friend. They mailed it to Boggins Height with "Please forward" written on it because they didn't know her new address. There was no reply from Wanda, but they didn't also receive the letter back. Thus they concluded that it must have reached Wanda, but she was so upset that she didn't answer. They waited for weeks, but still no answer. Peggy began to forget about this whole thing, while Maddie used to make some scenarios in her head before sleeping, where she defended Wanda. It was winter season and Christmas had come. The students decorated their classrooms with bells and a small tree. That day, Miss Messon told the students that she had received a letter from Wanda Petronsky. She is very happy to receive it because now she can send her the medal too. The letter began in a very friendly tone. Wanda asked how everyone was and that they could keep her 100 dresses. She specifically mentioned the dress she wanted Maddie and Peggy to take home. The green dress with red trimmings was for Peggy, while the blue one was for Maddie. She expressed her affection towards Miss Messon, winded up the letter by wishing everyone Merry Christmas, and also wrote that she missed everyone in room number 13. Thus, we see that despite being treated badly, she had no hard feelings towards anyone. Let's read these lines from the text. Dear Miss Masson, how are you? And room 13. Please tell the girls they can keep those 100 dresses because in my new house I have 100 new ones all lined up in my closet. I would like that girl Peggy to have the drawing of the green dress with red trimming and her friend Maddie to have the blue one. For Christmas, I miss that school and my new teacher does not equalize with you. Merry Christmas to you and everybody. Yours truly, Wanda Petronsky. So friends, we see how warmly she has written the letter. And she did not express any ill feeling against anyone. Let's understand further. It was Christmas season and all the houses were decorated. The atmosphere was colorful and joyful. Maddie and Peggy took home the drawings very carefully. When Peggy realized that this gesture implied that Wanda liked them, Maddie, on the other hand, was quite sad. She would never be able to see that polished, tight-lipped girl again. She would never get a chance to make amendments. As soon as Maddie reached home, she displayed the drawing on the wall and stared at the drawing constantly, thinking that how nice Wanda had been to them. She noticed that Wanda had actually drawn Maddie's face along with the dress. The color of the dress was so bright and vibrant that the face was hardly visible. Maddie got excited and ran towards Peggy to check if she had noticed it too. As soon as she reached Peggy's house, she asked her for the picture. She noticed that it was Peggy in that drawing. Both were left in shock and awe at the same time. Peggy exclaims that she was right about the thought that Wanda liked them. Maddie, whose eyes were filled with tears, recalled the scene, how these girls used to laugh at her. To this, Peg also agreed. So friends, let's read the last lines of the text to know how these two girls felt about Wanda. What did I say? Said Peggy. She must have really liked us anyway. Yes, she must have, agreed Maddie. And she blinked away the tears that came every time she thought of Wanda standing alone in that sunny spot in the schoolyard, looking stolidly over at the group of laughing girls after she had walked off, after she had said, "Sure, 100 of them all lined up." So friends, it was all about today's chapter, The 100 Dresses Part 2. This chapter has forced us to ponder on the thought that thinking before acting is wisdom, but acting before thinking is regret. Before I end up today's video, I would like you to think and write on the idea that do you really support the movement of Petronsky's family to another town? Do you think that this decision is going to bring a big change in their life or not? Think about it and write your views. We will meet in another video and we will take up some more exercises related to 100 Dresses Part 2. Till then, stay safe, stay healthy and happy learning. Thank you.